Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are taking what might be the ultimate shortcut to self-mastery.
And we're doing it by looking at maybe the most unlikely source material you could imagine.
Absolutely. The private, deeply vulnerable writings of a Roman emperor who ruled the largest empire the world had ever seen.
Yeah.
We're diving right into the head of Marcus Aurelius through his meditations.
It's true. I mean, the material you brought us today, it's not just philosophy or even official history. It's raw, personal, mental triage.
That's a great way to put it.
I mean, this book was never, ever intended for publication. It is a private collection of notes, reflections, and moral exercises that Marcus wrote strictly to discipline his own mind.
For himself?
Just for himself. It's maybe the most rigorous and honest conversation you can have with yourself, and we only have it by pure accident.
And our mission today is to figure out why this messy collection of thoughts is still one of the most powerful self-help books, 2,000 years later? We need to look at the man, the context, and the core techniques he used to just survive the job.
And the context is, it's everything, really. Marcus Aurelius was the Roman emperor from 161 to 180 AD.
So we're not talking about some detached academic philosopher.
Not at all. He was a committed Stoic who spent the last decade of his life on the frontier campaigning. He was dealing with brutal wars, the devastating Antonine Plague, and, huge political instability all at the same time.
So he wasn't sitting in a cozy palace. He was often ruling from a military camp somewhere on the Danube.
Exactly.
He was this incredibly rare example of a ruler who genuinely valued wisdom over absolute power. And it seems like he governed himself with far more scrutiny than he governed the entire empire.
And that leads us right to the core belief, the kind of mission statement for his life and for these notes.
Which is?
The true measure of a man is how he governs himself. That really sets the tone for self-control as the main focus of this whole deep dive.
Yeah, and that brings us to the structure of the book itself. The meditations are, they're disorganized.
Completely.
It's 12 books of reflections, no traditional narrative, no logical order at all. It's just raw, honest, and deeply introspective.
Because he wasn't trying to impress anyone.
Right. He was only trying to improve himself. It reads like someone talking themselves down from a ledge, one paragraph at a time.
It's the daily journaling of a man under extraordinary, almost unimaginable pressure.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start with the foundation of his whole philosophy, what he calls the inner citadel.
Mastering the mind.
Exactly. He just hammers home this idea again and again that our thoughts, our internal landscape, that's what defines our reality.
Yeah, more than any external event, this is the primary battlefield for the Stoics. They teach that events themselves are neutral.
Neutral. So if you're distressed by something external, the pain isn't from the thing itself.
No, it's from your judgment of it. The wind doesn't make you angry. Your judgment that the wind is inconvenient and shouldn't be happening. That's what causes the distress.
That is a huge shift in perspective. But how does that work practically? I mean, in today's world, when you face a genuine catastrophe, doesn't it feel a little, disingenuous to say anger is a choice?
It's not about ignoring the event, but about controlling the second step. Stoics see emotions not as these immediate reflexes, but as a mental process that involves assent.
Assent. Like agreement.
Exactly. An initial impression hits you, an insult, a setback. If you choose to grant assent to the judgment that this thing is, say, intolerable or a grave threat, then you choose the emotion.
So Marcus is constantly training himself to just withhold that assent.
To pause, to observe the impression, let it pass, and maintain that inner calm.
And that's where his core principle comes in, the one that offers the solution. Here's the quote he had to repeat to himself daily. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength.
And if you connect that to the bigger picture, the highest form of strength for Marcus wasn't conquering other countries. It was achieving inner calm, ataraxia.
And that inner calm is impossible unless you stick to that central Stoic principle.
The big one. The distinction between what is within your control and what is outside of it.
This boundary is everything. I mean, if you're seeking peace, you have to accept this distinction. It tells you where to spend your energy. Let's detail that for the listener, because this is the most actionable part.
Okay, so Marcus defines two very clear spheres. What he insists is, in your control are the things that rely only on your will.
Like?
Your judgments, your intentions, your actions, your character, and how you choose to respond. That's it. That's your ruling faculty.
And then there's the long, frustrating list of things that are firmly outside your control. And this includes all the things we modern humans spend most of our time worrying about.
Mhm.
Other people's opinions, your fame or reputation.
Your physical health, illness, death, and of course, fortune, luck, the chaos of the universe.
The relevance to modern stress and anxiety is just staggering, isn't it?
It's huge. We spend our lives trying to control the uncontrollable, the stock market, what a competitor thinks of us, traffic.
Right.
Marcus teaches that any effort you apply to anything outside your control is just. It's wasted effort and guaranteed suffering.
It's the peace that comes from just accepting that boundary. You can't control if you get the promotion.
But you can control the integrity and diligence of the work you submit.
And that shift saves you so much mental energy.
And he wrote this stuff not as, beautiful philosophy, but as a practical exercise. He was forcing his attention back onto list A, his actions, whenever list B, the chaos of the empire, threatened to overwhelm him.
That transition from inner control leads us perfectly to our second theme, which shifts from our inner life to external reality, impermanence, duty, and humility.
Yeah, Marcus talks about death and decay a lot.
He does, but not to be morbid or fatalistic. He does it to, free the mind from trivial things.
Precisely. The awareness of death, paradoxically, acts as this powerful motivator for living a meaningful life right now. He was constantly reminding himself that his life was brief, that the glory of Rome was temporary.
So worrying about long-term reputation was.
Pointless. Why worry about a monument that's going to turn to dust in 100 years?
Why worry about a monument that's going to turn to dust in 100 years?
He has this one quote on impermanence that is just. It's absolutely chilling. It forces you to pause.
Which one?
Soon you will have forgotten everything. Soon everything will have forgotten you.
Wow. Yeah. That's a powerful dose of humility, and he uses it as a tool to set his priorities. If time is short and glory fades, what is left?
Only how you behave right now.
That's it. And he had to be so rigorous about this because, unlike us, the entire world was telling him he was immortal, glorious, indispensable.
So if we connect that realization of impermanence to the idea of duty and responsibility, the whole structure of a Stoic life starts to emerge.
Right, because Marcus saw human beings as parts of a greater whole. Not just Roman society, but the rational cosmos itself.
And he used that analogy, the one about the bee. What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee. It's such a powerful statement of interconnectedness. Your duty isn't just an obligation, it's your rational role in the universe.
So complaining about your duty or trying to get out of it, that's seen as irrational.
Deeply irrational.
Yeah.
Because every person has a role to fulfill. And the focus isn't on the outcome of your duty. That's outside your control.
Right.
But on the integrity with which you do it. Act with integrity in your post, and that is enough.
And this brings up that incredible aspect of humility, especially for a guy with absolute power. Despite being emperor, he constantly had to remind himself he was mortal, fallible, and no better than anyone else.
He specifically warns against the traps of power pride, vanity, chasing praise. He knew that true greatness was in moral character, not in titles or the size of your army. He tells himself to just strip it all away and be a human being acting with reason.
He had everything the world could offer, and yet he saw all of it, the wealth, the titles, as secondary to the quality of his character.
It just proves that philosophical fight is universal no matter your status.
And that fight leads us perfectly into our third theme. Practical interventions and the goal of virtue.
Okay, so moving from the big cosmic ideas to the nitty-gritty.
Exactly. He didn't just theorize, he wrote about the most annoying parts of daily life. Specifically, dealing with difficult people.
Ah, yes. This is maybe the most shared part of the book today because it's just such a brilliant interpersonal strategy.
He lays out his mental preparation for each morning, basically steeling himself for what's coming. He'd start the day by saying, "You will meet people who are arrogant, ungrateful, dishonest, jealous, and unsocial."
It's preemptive frustration management if you acknowledge the inevitable bad behavior of others before it happens.
It robs it of its power to surprise you.
And offend you, yes.
And his solution wasn't to change them or even argue with them. He had a specific mental response.
3 steps.
Right. First, don't take it personally. Their fault is their own. Second, understand their ignorance. They don't know the harm they're doing to themselves.
And third, the most important step. Protect your inner peace above all else. He's saying their behavior is their problem, not yours.
Unless you let it be.
Unless you choose to let their irrationality pollute your own rational mind.
And that mental prep wasn't just for people. Marcus constantly practiced what the Stoics called premeditatio malorum.
The premeditation of evils, it sounds so morbid.
It does. But it's actually a tool for resilience.
It's mentally rehearsing worst-case scenarios, losing wealth, getting injured, even the death of a loved one, not to manifest them.
But to realize you have the resources to handle them, or that the event is outside your control anyway.
It's a method of inoculating yourself against future shock. If you've considered the worst, then a moderate setback. It loses its sting.
In all of this rigorous mental training, it all ties into the final synthesis of the book. Virtue as the only true good.
Right. He constantly reminds himself that happiness is absolutely not found in wealth or power or pleasure, all the transient things people chase.
Happiness comes only from living according to virtue. These are the only things that truly belong to you and can't be taken away.
Not by the plague, not by a military defeat, not by an insult, nothing.
And he defines that virtue through the 4 cardinal virtues of Stoicism.
Which are wisdom, justice, which is right action toward others, courage, and self-discipline.
Temperance.
Right, temperance and control. Everything else is secondary to cultivating those 4 traits.
You know, if you look at this whole work, it's a manual for living a life of integrity no matter what's happening around you. And that's exactly why meditation still matters so much today. It's timeless wisdom for modern stress, for anxiety, for the challenges of leadership in any field.
It's used so widely by CEOs, athletes, military leaders. It's a book for crisis, for clarity, and for self-mastery. It gives you a practical, repeatable handbook for your own mind.
So as we wrap up, I think the final reflection point is this. Meditations is not a book about changing the world around you.
No, it's a book about changing how you face that world.
It teaches mental resilience, emotional control, and the radical acceptance of reality.
It's the ultimate user manual for ensuring you live a good life, even when everything around you is chaotic, which it certainly was for him.
So for retention, let's leave you with the 2 most famous actionable quotes from the whole book. First one, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts.
And the second, which is maybe the most direct challenge of all, a total rejection of theory in favor of action. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one.
Wow.
That's the essence of it, a meaningful way to live and to die.
This emperor, who governed an empire from Britain to Egypt, spent his private time desperately trying to govern just one thing, himself.
And that brings us to our final provocative thought for you to consider today. Marcus Aurelius wrote these notes privately, for his eyes only, to discipline his own character.
Right.
So if a man with absolute power, with divine status, needed such constant, rigorous self-correction every single day just to stay decent, how much more do we need that daily rigor?
That's a powerful question.
What would your own private book of moral exercises look like if you knew for a fact that no one else would ever read it?
Think on that, and we'll catch you next time for the deep dive.